Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm back with another uni video. You guys seem to be loving my uni content at the moment, which makes me so happy and I'm really enjoying making it. I did actually ask over on my Instagram what videos you guys wanted to see, and every single person that replied literally said they wanted to see a vlog, like a day in the life, day of a student at UEA, day of a uni student, which I am going to do, but I can't film that yet because I'm not actually back doing lectures and stuff yet. So I thought there's no point in filming that at the moment because what I'm doing day to day is not what I would typically be doing at uni. So today I thought I would do a video about 10 things I wish I knew before coming to uni. And move-in day is right around the corner for a lot of you, so that's really exciting, and I thought I would share with you some things that I wished I knew before coming to uni. I'm going to be so real and open and honest with you guys in this video, because I don't want to give you any false expectations. Not that I'm going to be saying negative stuff, like I'm not in the slightest, but just things that I didn't really think about and things that literally I wish that I knew. So I really hope you find this video helpful and puts your mind at ease a little bit, and yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video. So the first thing that I wish I knew before coming to uni is that your flatmates might not necessarily be your absolute best mates, and that's completely okay. I feel like there's kind of a false expectation that a lot of people build up, that your flatmates are going to be your absolute best mates, they're going to be like your family and you're going to get on with every single one of them, and in reality, more often than not, that's not the case. I think I have spoken about this a little bit before, but yeah, there's no way that you are going to be absolute best friends with 10 or 11 people, because it just doesn't happen like that. It's like going to school, like you form little friendship groups and stuff, but it's not a bad thing. Like as long as you still get on with all of your flatmates, then you can still have a really nice time. I think there'll always be at least 2 or 3 people in each flat that you can become like really good friends with, but it just happens like you're never going to have exactly the same interests as everyone, because at the end of the day, like you're put into flats by random, so the people that are choosing who goes in what flat, they know nothing about you, so you're going to get put with completely random people that have different interests to you, different courses to you. But I think that's also one of the really lovely things about uni, because you get to meet so many different people from all over the country, even all over the world, and it's really refreshing. I feel like from where I'm from a really tiny village, and everyone's literally the same, like there's no diversity, and it was really lovely coming to uni and actually meeting different people. Like, so it's not necessarily a bad thing that you might not be best friends with all of your flatmates, but it's just something I don't want to give you guys false expectations that you're all going to be one big happy family, because more often than not it doesn't happen like that. Some people, like one of my friends, she got on with all of her flats so well, and they're all literally living in the same house in 2nd and 3rd year. But yeah, I just don't want to give you false expectations and then you be let down. But the chances are you will have like some good friends at least in your flat. The next thing that I wish I knew was how dirty the kitchen can get. It's actually disgusting. I feel like when you're living at home, if your parents do a lot of the cleaning and stuff, like my mum at home, she does like all of the cleaning, and the kitchen is always spotless, and I feel like you don't really realise that you need to clean it. It doesn't just happen. And coming to uni, when there's like 11 or 12 people in a flat and everyone's cooking a different meal 3 times a day, it really does get messy very quickly. And I'm not the cleanest person in the world, but I realised I am very clean compared to some other people. Like I just could not deal with the mess at some points. It was kind of disgusting, and again, I've spoken about this before, like the sink would get really gross, the table, just people would spill stuff on the table and just not wipe it up, and you're like, why can you not see that you've just made a mess? But it's one of those things that you kind of just have to bite your tongue at it a bit, otherwise you all end up falling out all the time, and it's really not worth it. I think to some extent you've just got to accept the fact that the kitchen is probably never going to be absolutely spotless unless it's literally the day after the cleaners have come in. Obviously, if it's an absolute tip, then maybe say something. But if it's just a few little marks here and there, then you just have to kind of learn to bite your tongue and let a few things slide, because otherwise it's going to create a really, really bad atmosphere, and you don't want that either. The next thing is that sometimes you probably will feel quite lonely, and this is completely normal. I feel like the first few weeks of uni, everyone was super busy, like I was out all the time meeting new people and stuff, but every so often you might feel quite lonely because it's the first time for most of you, myself included, that you'll be living completely by yourself. I thought that I was someone who was always quite good at being by myself, but I think I've learned at uni that I do like to have people around me. I like to just know that there's people there. So sometimes sitting in my room, I could get quite homesick, and this is completely normal. And I would say in that situation, try and find someone to speak to, because chances are you are not the only person in your flat that is going to be feeling like that. And just reach out to people, tell them how you're feeling. The worst thing you can do, I think, is bottle it all up and not let anyone know how you're feeling, because you'll just feel so much worse. This is something that I still struggle with, because I feel like I'm not very good at opening up to people and telling them how I feel unless someone asks me first, but that's something I'm trying to get better at. Yeah, so I would just say if you are feeling lonely or homesick or a bit overwhelmed by the whole process, then please talk to someone. Every flat has a flat warden that you can speak to, or speak to your flatmates, and you can always FaceTime your friends from home or your family from home as well. The next point that I wanted to say is don't judge someone before you've met them. I am definitely guilty of this. As much as I hate to admit, I didn't judge people in a bad way, but we all had like Facebook groups, and I remember getting added to our flat group chat, and we all ended up putting in our Instagram. So I was like following everyone and looking through everyone's Instagrams and seeing like, oh, like who do I think that I would get along with based off their Instagram, and that is not a good thing to do at all. I know I'm not the only one that's done it, so I don't feel bad about saying it, but you literally know nothing about these people. Like, they could be completely different in person compared to what is on their social media profiles, or like, it's really weird talking to people over messages before actually meeting them. Whilst I would say that it's a good idea to talk to your flatmates on the group chats, I would try and not look at their social profiles, so then you go in with more of an open mind, because otherwise you could have like preconceived ideas of what people are going to be like, and it's not really fair on people. So just try and not imagine what you think they're going to be like. Just go in there with a fresh mind and just meet them on the day, and then make an opinion like after you actually get to know them. The next thing I wish I knew is actually more of an academic one, and it's about referencing. So in school I never had to reference my work. It just wasn't a thing in school. I don't know if your schools were the same, but when you come to uni, in coursework pieces you do have to reference, because otherwise like you're kind of just stealing other people's work. Like, you kind of need to reference to back up the points that you're making. It might be different depending on what degree you're doing, but for my degree in geography we have to reference quite a lot, and I wish that I knew not to leave it all until the last minute, because it is such a pain trying to go back and find everything that you have read. I cannot stress enough how important it is to keep a note of your references along the way. Reference as you go. Don't leave it all until the last minute, because I don't even need to explain it. It's just such a massive stress. Just please do not do it. The next thing I wish I knew is don't rush deciding who to live with in second year, because you really should get to know them first. We waited quite late. We didn't get our house until January. I think we all decided like that we were living together in November time, or like end of November, which was actually quite late compared to a lot of our other friends, but we ended up getting like the best outcome. I think like all of us got on really well, and I think that is to do with the fact that we waited a little bit, because I do know people who rushed the decision and hadn't really got to know the people that they were living with properly, and then they ended up being quite unhappy in second year. So I would just make sure that you get to properly know people first. And even though people are going to be saying in literally probably 3 weeks after you move into uni, people are going to start asking who's living with who and stuff like that, and it can feel really, really stressful. I remember I was thinking, oh my god, everyone knows who they're living with already. Like, I don't even know who I'm gonna live with. What if we can't find a house? And it can be really, really stressful, but you don't need to decide that early on. I would say by like start of November, you should probably have an idea of who you want to ask and maybe like throw a few ideas out there. But definitely if you feel like you're rushing it, then just take a step back, because there'll always be houses available. There might not be as many if you leave it until after Christmas. Like, I would try and get one before Christmas if you can, but just don't rush it, because the most important thing is that you are living with people who you want to live with, because you don't want to be unhappy for a whole year. I also wish that I knew that last minute plans at uni are very much a thing, and I was not really prepared for it. I feel like at home, me and my friends were always quite organised, like planned things in advance because we were already busy. But coming to uni, people could literally just decide on the day, like, oh, should we drink tonight? And then I would be like, oh, I literally have no alcohol, and then it's such a stress having to go out to the shop and get it. So I would say always have like a bottle of wine or like a little stock up of alcohol, just in case anyone arranges a last minute plan and you just end up drinking with the flat or whatever. It's just a lot easier just to always have a little alcohol supply on hand for last minute plans like that. So the next thing I wish I knew is that you will have fire alarm tests, and they kind of go off at the most awkward times that there are. I remember we literally had a fire alarm test at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I had a 9 AM that day as well, so I was absolutely shattered for the whole day, and I just really wasn't expecting it. So just to throw that out there, you probably will have a really awkwardly timed fire test at some point. Make sure you get up for it, because if you don't, there will be security that just go around making sure that everyone's up. So just get up when it goes off and do what they say, and it will get over with a lot quicker. This next one is more of a tip based on what I did. So if you are someone who thinks they're going to miss their family a lot, then I would really, really recommend trying to hold out for as long as you can before you see them. So I didn't even think that I was going to miss my family that much. I'm not really that kind of person. I think I'm a very much like out of sight, out of mind kind of character, my family like to say. And I saw my family after 2 weeks of being at uni, and I think that is honestly the worst thing that I could have done, because I didn't even realise how much I missed them until I saw them. And as soon as I saw both of my parents, I literally burst into tears, and I really, really struggled going back to uni after that. I saw them for a whole weekend. They picked me up on the Friday night and they dropped me back off on Sunday evening, and I found it so difficult readjusting to going back to uni after that. So I'd really say hold out for as long as you can, like at least a month before you see your family, because otherwise you'll find it so much harder. Maybe instead try and see like if your friends could come up and visit you for the day or something like that instead. But I just think going home for a whole weekend too soon can really just put you in a negative state of mind, because I also felt like because I'd seen my family so soon after moving to uni, it was literally the second weekend that we had with the flat and I wasn't there. So I felt like once I came back, everyone had spent so much more time together and got to know each other. They'd all gone out for dinner, and I just felt really out of it. I felt really out of the loop when I then came back. So yeah, if you can hold out seeing them, then I definitely would. You can always FaceTime them, like there's other ways to stay connected. I used to text my family more than I would FaceTime them, because I just found it really hard, like I didn't miss them until I either saw them or heard their voices, and then I would. Whereas I feel like text, I could still let them know that I was okay and ask them how they were, but it wasn't as like emotional, if you get me. So I didn't, because I couldn't hear them or see them, I didn't miss them as much. Yeah, that's just from personal experience. but I just thought I'd throw that one out there as well because I really wish that I hadn't have seen them so soon. And the next thing that I wish I knew before I went to uni is how my friendships at home would change. And this isn't the case for everyone, and I do have tips about how to not let it happen, but I do feel very disconnected from my friends at home now. I feel like that's probably the right word. So to help that not happen, I would definitely recommend keeping in touch with them as much as you can, like messaging them a lot, asking to FaceTime, inviting them up to see you, because it's really important to maintain those friendships at home as well. I remember when I came to uni, I found it so difficult leaving my friends from home because we were a really close group of 4 at the time, and I was the only one out of the 4 that were going to uni. So I knew that the 3 of them, like, they were at home all together, and there was some other friends that like we were kind of more distant from, but they were at home as well, so they got really close to my group, like my close group of friends, and I would just constantly see them all together on Snapchat and Instagram, and I feel like I ended up distancing myself because I felt so left out that I purposely didn't really message them because I found it so hard seeing all of these things that they were doing together without me. But I think I probably went about it the complete wrong way, and rather than shutting myself out, I should have tried harder to include myself. So again, this is from personal experience because I just don't want what happened to me to happen to you guys. So I would really try hard to keep in touch with your friends from home, FaceTime them loads, talk to them on the phone, and just make sure that you don't let yourself like slip away from the group and become disconnected, because then it makes it really hard over summer and Christmas and stuff. I find it really hard going home now because I kind of feel like I don't really have anyone. I'm absolutely fine before anyone asks. Like I have like 2 really good friends at home, so I just see them all the time when I go back, and I still do get invited to like a few things, but we're just not as close as what we used to be. And I do think that me going to uni is probably a factor of that because we just like grew apart. So just make sure you stay connected and keep in touch with everyone at home so then you don't lose that. So that is just about everything that I wanted to speak about. Those are the 10 things that I wish I knew before coming to uni. I really hope you all found this video useful, and best of luck if you are moving in over the next few weeks. And we're also getting close to 3,000 subscribers, which is so insane. So if you would subscribe to me, that would mean the absolute world. It really helps my channel out, and I would love to reach 3,000 subscribers before Christmas, like way before Christmas if we can. So fingers crossed. And please like this video if you have enjoyed it, so then I will continue making more uni content. And yeah, I will see you in my next video. Bye.